Hey, what's up, y'all? Now that you have a vision for mentoring and you know the general stages of the first year of the mentor journey, it's time to unpack the very first step. This video will help share some very practical things to focus on while you're volunteering at the program and how to start and grow a life on life relationship. There are two simple parts to this first step of mentoring, and that is to be consistent at the program and build relationships at the program. So, if our goal is to build long term relationships, then it's helpful to focus on these few things while we're serving at the program. So, first, we always focus on playing the long game. That can never go away. Second, we should focus on connecting with the youth, and two very effective ways to connect with youth is by focusing on having fun and getting to know the youth. That's it. When we're at the program, all we need to do is focus on having fun with the youth and trying to get to know them. Over time, relationships will form. So, why fun? I don't know where it comes from, but somewhere along the way in Christian culture, we've come to believe that having fun is a waste of time in regards to ministry impact. We want to skip that and get to the real ministry of teaching the Bible. Now, teaching the Bible is important and it's part of the ministry, but it's just a part, it's not the whole. If we see God using relationships and people to change people, then having fun is a critical part of ministry because having fun is a critical part of any meaningful relationship. Fun is one of God's natural ways for human connection. When people are having fun, it does two things. It dismantles fear and it builds trust. In order to have meaningful relationships, there cannot be ongoing fear. Fear creates separation between people. In order to grow closer, we must build trust, and trust brings people together. So the more fun we're having with people, the wall of fear is dismantled and trust grows. So relationally, there needs to be trust before we can actually have an influence or impact in another person's life, and vice versa. So I just want to unpack these building blocks of relationships. The first thing needed in a relationship is for people to feel safe. If you or someone doesn't feel safe in a relationship, then you can forget trying to make an impact. But once there is felt safety in a relationship, then that allows trust to be built. Then trust, once that is starting to form, it allows connection between people. And we call this whole three building block part relational capital. It is the infrastructure of good, healthy relationships. If you remove any of these pieces, the whole thing falls apart. For example, if you remove trust from a relationship, then you cannot have connection. If you remove felt safety from a relationship, then trust cannot be built. See what I mean? It's critical to start at the bottom and build your way up. Once these are built, you can get to the place where you can withdraw from a relationship. Honestly, withdraw isn't the greatest word, but I couldn't think of anything. So what I mean by this is you have earned the respect of the other person and they know you genuinely care about them, and now you have a voice to speak into their life. You can share wisdom, concerns, or even correct a person, and they will have the relational capital and grace to hear you out, even if they don't like what you're saying in the moment. Let me give you an example. If you're at a program, right, and there's a kid who keeps cussing, and you don't know this kid, which means you don't have any relational capital, but another leader does know this kid and they do have relational capital, it would be far better for that leader to go and correct that kid. The kid will be able to receive better because they know that person, that leader, genuinely cares about them. The more relational capital you have, the more you can input into the relationship, even when it might be difficult. And many times that hard input might be difficult at the moment, but in the long term, a lot of people see that as you were seeking to love them and build them up in a way that maybe they needed it, and that actually can build more relational capital. And guess how you can build that relational capital? That's right, is by having fun together. So there is a lot more underneath playing and having fun with youth at the program than you might have thought. You are doing a lot of critical and foundational relationship building. Having fun alone isn't enough if it stops there. It is important to be intentional and use those moments of fun together to try and get to know the youth little by little. You can't have a meaningful relationship without actually knowing the other person and without them getting to know you. Knowing and being known is vital because it builds depth of relationship. I would guess we have all experienced times where we've had other people try to go deep with us, but they didn't really know us. When that happens, it's very uncomfortable and not even meaningful. I've experienced it in a small group where we were expected to go deep right off the bat. But even if I shared my deepest stuff, if the people I'm sharing it with don't really know me, then it isn't a good experience. It actually feels superficial. If this can be true for adults, it's the same for youth. Youth are just people. They need to be known, and that takes time. And to really know them, it doesn't happen quickly or all at once. It happens gradually over a period of time of having a multitude of interactions and experiences together. So we must put in the work and be intentional when we're at the program to seek to get to know the youth. Okay, so how do I do this? The first thing is you must be consistent at the program. Having a consistent presence and engaging the kids at the program is vital. If we are not actually with the youth, then it's impossible to build relationships. We're fooling ourselves if we think we can make an impact in a youth's lives, but unwilling to prioritize and actually be with them. Quantity of time is actually what creates quality of time. We cannot have quality of time without putting the quantity of time in. So it starts by being committed and consistently being at the program. The second thing is to be authentic. Don't try to be cool for the kids or be something you're not. Youth can smell a fraud, so just be yourself. And trust the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit will make the right connections with the kids that He wants you to connect with in His timing. Finally, there it is again. Have fun and get to know the youth. Looking at this, I hope it dismantles any fear you may have had. Building relationships is this simple. Anyone can do it, but it just takes commitment and a willingness to make the youth a priority in your life. All right, so here are some practical tips on having fun. Engage youth and ask them if they want to play blank. Play anything, basketball, Uno, Jenga, foosball, whatever games or activities the program has available. The activity is actually secondary. The important part is that you're just having fun together. So find what the youth enjoy and just play. And it is on you to be the one to pursue and engage a youth. You need to go ask them if they want to play. Most kids won't just walk up to you and ask if you want to play a game. Be the one to engage them and ask. And it's okay if you get rejected by some kid who doesn't want to play a game. It's all right. Just keep it moving. Go to the next game. Ask another kid if they're interested. Another helpful tip in having fun is just to add some friendly competition to the mix. I don't know what it is, but a lot of youth love playful competition. So an example would be like, say you're playing a game of Uno with kids. Put a friendly wager on it. And I'm not talking about money. An example would be something like saying, hey, if I lose, I'll do 10 push-ups. Then the next game, you throw out a different, competition or wager. You say, hey, whoever loses does 10 push-ups. I don't know what it is, but kids are drawn to that competition. The important part is that you keep it lighthearted and friendly and just get creative. And finally, be encouraging and uplifting to these kids. Feel the mood, and if it's friendly competition and it's helpful, keep it rolling. If it's not, then don't do it. Just make connection and building the relationship your focus. And encouragement is always helpful for that. So here are a few tips on just getting to know kids. Just take advantage and use any downtime moments. If you're waiting in the Foursquare line, ask a kid next to you what their name is. Ask them about what they enjoy doing with their time, what their favorite sports are, what are their interests. Just ask questions specifically about things they care about and try to figure those things out. People in general love to talk about what they care about, and youth are no different. So find out what they love to talk about and engage them in that conversation. You can do this, y'all. This is the first step of building a mentoring relationship. Volunteer at a program, be consistent, focus on building relationships with youth by having fun and getting to know them. Doing this over a long period of time can and will grow a relationship that one day you can take outside of the walls of the program. And God can use that relationship not only to make an impact in the kid's life, but also to change you. In order to be faithful for the long haul, it must start by being faithful in the first step. You got this. Grace and peace.